Welcome, I'm Jeanette, the North Down Coach, and today I want to dive into a trap that many of us in mid-career find ourselves in. And I want to talk a little bit about what that trap looks and feels like, the symptoms of it, and then some things about what we can do about it. How can we get out of that trap? So, first of all, what does it feel like? What is this trap? Well, if you are someone who is mid-career, maybe later career, you've had a successful career journey. You are one of these people that has had meets and exceeds expectations on performance reviews. You have been promoted through the years working within your corporation or institution in higher ed, etc. You've had a track record of success is the bottom line on this until current times, until you're in the trap. And what it feels like in the trap is like a frozen state, like what worked before isn't working for you, that you might describe yourself as feeling burned out, super frustrated, very anxious about the work week ahead when it comes to coming off the weekend, dreading coming into work, just being fed up with the current circumstances. And the frozen part comes in because it doesn't feel like there's anything that you can do about it, or not much, or you've tried and it just is not bringing you results, or you don't have the energy to try. That's a terrible circumstance to be in after these years of successful movement throughout your organization, through your career. You're likely at this point in time either not close enough or not interested in solving this by retiring and doing something else. That's not an option for you. And so what I want to offer is a bit of what's happening behind the scenes that's contributing to this. Because once it starts to happen, what's going on is your brain is protecting you in the circumstances by really shutting down all of the creativity and optimism around other things so that you can essentially focus on survival mode. But the problem is that's really not protecting you. That's not a sustainable state to be in, where all of your energy is just circling, right? The same sort of issues, being tired around the doing of the work around the work versus the work that you enjoy. And that sense of your brain protecting you in these circumstances keeps you frozen in place, keeps you from seeing the different options that are available to you to move out of that. Now, what I want to offer are two ideas. One is a shorter term idea and one is a longer term idea. What I want to avoid is listening to, or what I want to avoid is having you listen to the likely advice that you hear out there, like just quit. Jump in with both feet to the thing that you dream about in your passion, etc. Don't listen to that. That's not going to lead you in a good direction. Rather, the first small thing that you can do is look at how you can interrupt this cycle. So rather than digging in further to the swirl that's going on at work, first, how can you stabilize yourself? How can you make choices that give your brain a sense of relief? So it might be pausing when you start to feel that anxiety come on to just do some breathing, slow it down. Look at the different options that you have from that slowed down state rather than attaching to really solving in the moment. Take a moment every 30, 45 minutes to get up. Don't continue to put all of it into screen time. Stand up, walk around, do some things to break up the cycle so that you have some ability to more creatively think about, okay, what are some things that I might do within this organization that might make things better? Or if it's time to make a change, what kind of change might I look at? Now, that brings me to the second point, which is when it's time to think about different options, what you might consider is rather than signing up for more of what you have been doing, in other words, even if you're going to change your role, the organization, don't dive back into the same sort of a setup. Instead, take this opportunity at mid or later career to think around how might you look at a portfolio career where you might sew together a number of different options, some freelance work, some contract work. Maybe it's a part-time role. Maybe it's setting up your own consulting organization. A variety of different options might fall into that. Now, that's a little bit more advanced. Today, we're really focusing on part one, which is interrupt the cycle so that you can get the trap to loosen a bit, so it gives you some creative space to start thinking about what those options might be. All right, I hope that's been a little bit of a beacon of hope for you today. And I look forward to joining you next week with some additional thoughts around this career topic. In the meantime, have a great week. Thanks for watching.